Good morning, students. How are you all? Hope you are doing good. How was the quarantine days? Are you being safe at home? Good, dear. My congratulations for all for getting into the new grade, and I welcome you all to the video class. So, before starting our session, first be ready with your note and pen for each and every class. So, this will help you to take down the notes that you are observing here. Okay, dear. So, pause the video and be ready with that. Shall we start? Good. In grade 8, the first topic that you are going to learn in computer science is Introduction to C language. Okay. Do you have any idea about C language? In lower classes, you could have studied about the languages of computer, isn't it? Like high level language, low level language, assembly language, like that. Okay, fine. So, in this grade, you are going to learn in detail about C language and how to write a program in that. Okay, dear. So, before learning that, we must know some basic in that problem solving techniques, that is algorithm and flowchart. So, a typical programming task can be divided into two phases. One is problem solving phase, another one is implementation phase. So, in problem solving phase, the algorithm is used. So, it is a sequence of steps. Okay, dear. Then, implementation phase, some programming languages are used in this. Next, what is algorithm? When input is given, the algorithm is a step-by-step method for solving a problem or doing a task. Then we will get the output. So, the next we are going to learn the properties of algorithm. Okay. So, what are the properties of the algorithm? First one is finiteness. Second one, properly defined. Third one, input. Then fourth one, output. Fifth one, effectiveness. And the last one is independent to any other programming language. Once again I repeat you, properties of algorithm: finiteness, properly defined, input, output, effectiveness, and independent to any other programming language. Shall we see this all in detail? Good. Properties of algorithm. So, first one is what we have seen, finiteness. So, what is finiteness? There is an exact number of steps to be taken and has a proper end. So, whatever the algorithm is, there will be a proper starting and proper ending. Okay, dear. The next one is absence of ambiguity. So, that means every instruction is precisely described and clearly specified. It will be easy to understand. Okay, then third one is sequence of execution. So, sequence, already you know this word, order, in order. Okay, so instructions are performed from top to bottom, like step 1, step 2, step 3 up to the final step. Then input and output, defined the unknowns of the problem is specified with the expected outcome also. So, the input is considered as a unknowns. Okay, so if any problem is given, what the input we are getting is considered as unknown, and the expected outcome, that is the result, will be produced out. Then effectiveness, the solution prescribed is guaranteed to give a correct answer and that the specified process is faithfully carried out. So, whatever problem is given, it will be executed and the proper outcome will be given effectively. The last one is scope definition. So, applies to a specific problem or class of problem. So, whatever problem is given, it will be defined and the process and the output will be given out. So, these are the properties of algorithm. Could you understand? Okay. Shall we go to the next? Let me see one example for this algorithm. This is a simple example. Okay. Algorithm for sum of two numbers. So, we have to add two numbers. What is the first step? We have to start. As I told, in the finiteness, there will be a proper starting and ending. So, the first step is we have to start. Step 1, start. Then step 2. So, for adding two numbers, we need that two numbers as an input. So, enter two numbers and store in a space, that is A and B. A and B here is variables. So, what the value we are getting in is stored here. For example, if we are getting 2 in A and we are getting 3 in B. Okay, so in first variable 2 is stored and then second variable 3 is stored. Okay, so step 3, add A and B and store in C. So what will be the answer in C? Adding this two numbers. For us, we have given a simple calculation. 2 plus 3 is 5. So this answer is stored in C. What is the step 4? We have to display the C, that is output. So display C. The final step is end. So as I told you earlier, there should be a starting and ending. So step 1 start, the final step is end. In between we are getting two numbers and we are adding that and we are storing in C and we are giving output as display C. So this is a algorithm, simple algorithm for adding two numbers. Do you understand this? Okay, let me go to the next thing. What is flowchart? So after algorithm, next one, flowchart. Flowchart is a diagrammatic representation of algorithm. So whatever taught to us, whatever is given to us, if it is in a diagrammatic form, it will be easy for us to understand, isn't it? So this algorithm also can be given in a diagrammatic representation. Okay, and this can be a important programming tool. Flowchart is one of the important programming tool. Next, solving a problem using figures. Figures here mention the shapes. Okay, some symbols you will be seeing in the next slides. Okay, so different figures have different functions. So each symbol will describe different functions. Okay, so these are the explanation of the flowchart. Okay, then we must know the advantages and disadvantages of flowchart before using that. So that is, merits is the advantage and demerits is the disadvantage. First we are going to see the merits. So easy to explain program logic, there is the first point. Next, makes coding effective and faster. Effective communication. Different symbols used. Serve as documentation and easy to detect, locate and remove the bugs in a program. What is meant by bugs? I told you in the last previous class itself, in your 7th, bugs, that is errors. As human beings, we usually make some errors in writing the program, isn't it? So removing the bugs, that is removing the errors, is easy in this flowchart. Okay, so these are the merits. Once again, easy to explain the program, makes coding effective and faster, effective communication, different symbols used, serve as documentation, easy to detect, locate and remove the bugs in our program. Okay. Next, demerits. Even though merits are there, some demerits is also there in the flowchart. First one is time consuming. So it will take a lot of time and monotonous job. Okay, and difficult to maintain. Occupies space while documentation. More space is needed for this. Translation to computer program is difficult. So these are the demerits of the flowchart. Okay, then let me see the symbols that already I told you, some figures, that is the symbols. So what are the symbols used here in flowchart? So first symbol is terminal. This oval symbol is called the terminal and this is used for the starting and ending point. Okay dear, so whenever we start a flowchart, it should start with a oval symbol and also it should end with this oval symbol, that is called the terminal. This symbol name is terminal. So where it is used? In the starting and the ending point. Next one, initialization. So what is meant by initialization? If we are allotting a value to a variable, that is initialization, initialing. Okay, so the preparation or initialization of memory space. So already in that example, do you remember A and B is the memory space for getting the two values, isn't it? So there we are using this symbol. And this one, input and output. Okay, so if you are getting two numbers, in this symbol it is used to get the input and display the output. Okay, while we are displaying that answer, display C, this symbol is used there. Then this one, rectangle. it is used for process. What's the process we done in that algorithm? Do you remember? Adding is the process, isn't it? So for that adding, we need this rectangular box. Okay, do you understand? Next, some more symbols. So this one, arrow marks. Arrow marks is the flow lines. Okay, so the execution of control. The control flow from the first to end, this arrow marks are used. Okay, then a circle and arrow, that is the on page connector. So connects to the flowchart to avoid the connection on the same page. That means if we are stopping flowchart in middle and we are starting once again, this connector is used. And this one next, off page connector. Okay, connects the flowchart on different page to avoid the spaghetti connection. That means if you are doing the flowchart in a page, if the page overs, then you are continuing the next page, there we must use this off page connector. Okay, so end of the page and in the starting of the next page, this connector is used. Then the last one, decision box. This rhombus symbol is used in the decision box. Decision in how to explain, you can know that. So if you are taking the decision, wherever you will take the decision, if any condition is given, there you will be taking a decision. For example, choosing option, if A or B. Okay dear, if this or that, there you will be using this decision box. Okay, these are the some flowchart symbols that we are using in the flowchart. So one example also for you. Flowchart adds sum of two numbers. The same example what we have seen in the algorithm. Okay, so first we have to start the flowchart, that oval symbol. Do you remember? Terminal symbol. Okay, then we are getting the input A and B. So we are getting the answer from the user have to give that two variables, isn't it? So we are getting A and B in this input box. Process, C equal to A plus B. So this process symbol. And what we have to do? We have to display the result again in this display C. And what would be the final? End. So this is a simple flowchart for adding two numbers. The same like algorithm. This is a diagrammatic representation of that steps. Do you remember? There step 1, step 2, step 3. That is algorithm. Here the diagrammatic representation of the algorithm. Same algorithm. Okay, so it will be easy for you to understand. Start, input A and B, C equal to A plus B, display C and end. Okay, could you understand easily? Okay dear. Next, what is pseudocode? Pseudo means imitation or false, and code refers to the instructions written in a programming language. Now we are coming into the programming language side, that is pseudocode. The program what we are giving coding is called pseudocode. Pseudocode is another programming analysis tool that is used for planning a program. Pseudocode is also called program design language, that is PDL. Okay, then advantage of pseudocode. So like flowchart, there is also some advantages in pseudocode. Converting a pseudocode to a programming language is much more easier than converting a flowchart. As compared to flowchart, it is easier to modify a pseudocode of a program when program modifications are necessary. Then, so all together in a single slide. Could you see the first one what we have seen? Algorithm, next flowchart, next pseudocode, that is coding. Okay, so this last coding you will be studying in future, header files and what are the functions, variables, everything what we have to use in the C program. This is a sample C program. Okay dear, the last what we are seeing is this sample C program. Okay, this is algorithm and this is flowchart. This is a simple C program. The same for the algorithm and flowchart is given. Okay dear, could you understand whatever we have seen here? Okay, so these are the thing that you have learned today. So first C programming basic things, algorithm, flowchart, then what is algorithm, the example of that, and flowchart, merits, demerits, and an example of flowchart, then pseudocode, that is coding, and an example for that. Okay dear. So the next thing, we are coming to the last one, today's activity. So write an algorithm to find average of two numbers. So what we have seen in the example, addition of two numbers, isn't it? The same like that, here you are going to find the average of two numbers. The same process of starting and getting two numbers. And how will you find the average? Do you know the calculation? I think you have studied in maths, isn't it? So do that process, then display the result in another variable like C and stop your algorithm. For the same thing, you have to do the flowchart also. That is the next thing. Draw flowchart for the same. Okay. So how will you start the flowchart? The same terminal symbol, then getting the input, the process in the rectangle, then displaying the result at the end terminal symbol to end the flowchart. This is the activity for you, a simple activity. Do it neatly and submit your class teacher. Okay dear, I think you have studied everything and you have understood it. So let me see in the next class. Thank you.